you've got a little bit of time on your hands and you want to make something special for your family, this is the best recipe for porchetta. What we've got here is belly pork. What we've done with this is we've brined it. This is a 10% brine with a few aromats, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of thyme, and we brined it for 24 hours. The more connective tissue and fat, the higher the brine and the higher the length of the brine, because it can withstand it and take it. So in the brine, we just put a few aromats, we put some garlic, a few herbs, and then just basically just heated it up and then let it cool and then put the meat inside. So to start off, I'm just gonna open it up like a book. So you just go all the way through the meat. So what you want is you want these multiple layers all the way through your porchetta. Sort of basically cutting it in half, but widthways. All the way along. When you get to the end, just be really careful that you don't go all the way through. And there you've got a really nice flat layer. So if you imagine, what we're going to do now is you're basically going to roll this. And the reason we do so many layers is because then I can get loads of flavor packed inside. And then to make our flavor rub, traditionally in porchetta it's really important that you've got fennel seeds. So we've got ground fennel seeds here, they've just been toasted and blitzed. This is a little bit of ground oregano, lots of black pepper, mix of herbs. I've just got thyme, basil, sage, and some garlic, and then to help it blitz, just a little bit of oil as well. To be honest, you can just use some black peppercorns and some fennel seeds, will be delicious. So we just blitzed it really roughly. It's going to cook for a long time, so you really don't need to worry about getting it too blitzed up, because all of those garlic cloves will soften nicely inside. Take a spoon, and don't do a really thick layer, just keep it nice and thin. Thin and even and consistent all the way through. I did a stage at Claire Smith's, and the head development chef made one thing they did really well was all their staff food. Antonio was a development chef at the time, cooked it for us, and it was just probably the best thing I've ever tasted. So this method, we wanted to put porchetta on the menu, but we wanted to do it in a way that was nice and consistent and easy in the restaurant. And so this is the method that we've sort of decided on. So I've rolled that up and keeping it nice and tight, and there's a tiny little gap of an overlap here between the skin, and that's okay. And then you want to try and press the meat in as much as you can. And then to tie it, this is just a simple basic tie. I don't know if it's particularly right or not, but this is what I've just, I got taught how to do when I was a little bit younger. So you start right at the top and you just do a simple, straightforward sort of knot. And then this just secures it for the rest of the process. So release a little bit more of the string and just tie it twice round, loop it under, and then just pull. And then you can just, pork belly is quite easy because it's super robust. So you can just tighten that up accordingly, and then you just go on the next one. I mean, you could proper nerd out here and do like lots and lots of them, but you know, someday you want to be drinking a nice bottle of red and watching the TV. So just do a few nice loose ties that keep it all in place. Well, what did I watch recently? Baby Reindeer, which reminds me a lot about, you know, my life. June, the other day, for the first time. It's really good. You can let me know in the comments if this isn't the right way to do it, but I'm pretty confident it's, you know, I think with all these things, it, you know, I'm sure there's a classical French book that tells you exactly how to do it, but most of it at the time I just try and work it out on my own. So there you go. And this works, that technique works for pretty much anything. And then to finish, what I do is I just Release a bit more of that, not too much, and then flip the joint over, and this is our presentation side, and then I just loop it under. So if you just do this, it just binds the whole thing together. Other things you can do with porchetta, you definitely can score the fat. So you can put this crosshatch slices all the way through, and then rub salt in and leave it for a day or two. That'll like secure it and harden it up a little bit. But in the restaurant, we found that this method that we do, it doesn't actually add that much, and it just takes a little bit longer. So, and then you just tie another little simple knot there, and that keeps everything in place. And then this is going to go into an oven with a core bouillon. So I'm using water here. I'm only using that just to show you. I've got a little bit of stock that I used last time I made my porchetta. And basically, you start with water the first time, and then save this stock in the freezer. But that's just from the last time I made my porchetta. Instead of using that, if you don't have it, add some chicken stock cubes in there. Do it your first time, and then you know you've got it for the future, because you're going to want to make this every goddamn Sunday. Shallots go in, garlic goes in, and then something that we don't use that much of in the UK, I think, just a bulb of fennel. So this will give it a really nice sort of aniseedy kick to it. We actually cook this super low, and we're going to flip it halfway through, okay? The way you get crispy skin is by rendering it out. If you render it in water, what happens is basically little water particles get trapped in the cells of the skin. And then when it's set and then dried, basically exposed to really intense heat, then that's how you get crackling or crackly crispy skin. So you can do 10 hours at about 105 degrees. In she goes. See you later. This is my finished cooked belly, and it's basically just been chilled down for a little bit in the liquid, passed the liquid off, whacked in the freezer, and now this is ready to cook. I put it onto a rack, whack it in the oven, 200 degrees, 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so 20 minutes, 200 degrees. Whew. That looks super crispy. Nice, nice, nice. So take that out, and importantly, just let it rest for a minute. What you all want to hear, almost like glass-like crispiness. It's more of like almost like a lechon, so like Filipino kind of style crisp to it. Sweet. So to portion, just go down those handy little tracks that you've already made, and the big reveal. Oh my god! Look at that! Look at that! So glistening, so crispy, perfectly cooked, absolute delight.